everybody, and welcome to another sketchbook tour. Today I have a handbook, and I believe this is the mixed media. I do not think this is the watercolor, and as you'll see, it has buckled. So I have not tried a handbook sketchbook that is actually meant for watercolor. I'm sure the paper behaves differently. This one we will call Coffee in a Rose or Coffee Flower sketchbook. This is a sticker from Half Calf Designs. She is an artist and designer illustrator in Texas. So if you search Half Calf Designs, you'll get her website, Big Cartel, and her Facebook, and you can check her out. So let's just dive in. I'm kind of curious if I have dates on here. 2019 is that first sketch. For my part, I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars makes me dream. Vincent van Gogh. So, as we can see, this is July 2019. Just some rough sketches in ink and watercolor. Sometimes I'm just copying from watercolor books or online just for inspiration, just to as a meditation without having to think too hard. So this is after Virginia Hain, I think you say it. Some acrylic blobby stuff I put down, and then some drawings over top of LaCroix. LaCroix or Lacroix? If it's an X, yes, anyway. Don't know how to pronounce it. And this is the corner of a chair. I don't know if you can see that, like an Adirondack chair. These were little watercolor mix, just sort of palette experiments, inspired by the novel I was reading, Circe. So dark, rock bed began, on the banks grew grass and soft gray flowers, golden goblets, and all that lily beauty. I'm sure that wasn't written all together, but I just kind of plucked some words from that book that made me inspired to play with palette. And here's more. I don't do that very often, but it was fun. These are some sketches from me teaching one of my Skillshare classes. So if you didn't know, I teach several classes on Skillshare. You can subscribe to their platform and watch a ton of creative classes and videos. But I also have a free one up there too. My free one is called Landscape Sketching in Watercolor and Ink. And then I have two others so far, Pumpkin Spice Watercolor Illustrations, which is awesome for fall. And then Imaginary Vacation in Watercolor, where I take you sort of armchair traveling, and we get to paint different destinations and things without leaving home. So yeah, if you see things like this, sometimes that's from me teaching. This is all from my free class. And then just some play. Huddle House. I think I laid down some, I might have been cleaning my brush or something, but turned it into some sketches afterwards. Sorry if you can hear the wind. We're in West Texas, so sometimes it gets a little crazy. Sketching from a magazine clipping. And brainstorming some little Christmas cards I could paint. So this one is kind of based on one of the houses I grew up in. We had a Labrador, and that's what it was like walking him at night around Christmas. Some sketches I didn't fulfill, but I was testing palette there. My mom's house. I just did that from memory. I wasn't at her house when I did that. I was just playing around. This has gold. I don't know if you can see it. it has gold watercolor here, so it's a little shiny. Might not pick up on the camera. Me sketching at a brewery. Surprise, surprise. And these are, you can tell they're just really rough, really kind of ugly sketches, and they're numbered. This is just me doing a sketch a day for a year. I did it for several years in a row, which stopped when I began teaching elementary, because OMG, that took up a lot of time. These are just doodles. And then some are clearly sketched live in different places. Like this pup was hanging out at the brewery. One of my mega inspirations is Liz Steele, and I'm in the process of taking one of her classes online. So here I'm just mimicking her sketches. It's from a Chardonnay bottle. This is from a magazine, and I'm clearly just doing a fun little color abstract study from it. Tracing shadows. Tracing shadows is a really fun thing to draw. You just put a light source or take something over to a window, lay your sketchbook down in its shadow, and trace away. It's really fun. This is after Lee Gorin. She's an illustrator. And I was inspired by her cat blobs. I mean, who wouldn't be? Giant head. So it's me just hanging out in a truck, drawing my dog, who obviously doesn't stay still. So you get some really awkward drawings, but that's what it's all about, folks. This is, just trying to brush off the dust. Everything is awkward. So when you don't sketch for a long time, it's just like getting back into running. You will pick it back up pretty quick, but at first you're really, everything feels rough and awkward. And of course I could do better if I really focused, but often I just rush through things. I like quick gratification when I'm drawing. I think this is from a Skillshare class. So can't take credit for some of these little things. They're just me playing around. And this is during COVID, so doing a lot of staff meetings online and drawing to keep myself busy because I can listen and draw at the same time. Cap Rock Canyon. I love painting in Cap Rock Canyon. I have several sketchbooks where at least once Cap Rock Canyon pops up. I've done this sketchbook tour already. These are some gouache studies about when I was proposed to, and yeah, so that's a view at the very top of Cap Rock Canyon. And then I sketched these when my fiance and I were out scoping out places in Cap Rock Canyon to actually get married. And we got engaged in Cap Rock Canyon, and then we got married in Cap Rock Canyon, and you could see where we got engaged from the place where we ended up getting married. And we didn't rent anything, we just showed up with a couple friends and kind of eloped. But yeah, Cap Rock Canyon. It's probably going to keep showing up. As long as I'm within driving distance of Cap Rock Canyon, it will keep showing up in my sketchbooks. Guaranteed. It's gorgeous out there. This is me goofing around and doing some practices for my imaginary vacation in watercolor class on Skillshare. We've recently found out that you have to have a certain amount of traffic on Skillshare and a certain amount of interaction with your audience, with your community, if you want to stay on that platform without being kicked off. And so we have to kind of each all artists have to up their own promotion of these classes. So if you're at all interested in hanging out with me on Skillshare, go and head over there. And there's places for you to upload your projects, get feedback, critique, things like that. Or you could just follow along and ask questions. You don't have to show your work until you're comfortable. Here I clearly got on a big botanical kind of kick. And who knows what this is? Having fun. More staff meetings. This is another reason why I love sketching. Here's a pickup order that doesn't go through. So I'm sitting in an unair conditioned car, sun-baked and grumpy, but I'm kind of meditating as I sketch and kill time waiting for my food. These are just doodles, just something that I was doing probably in meetings, just to keep my hand busy. This is an interesting way to sketchbook. You don't see this a ton in my sketchbooks, but just writing down books I want to read, or writing down thoughts from books I'm already reading. Look at this squishy. Does anybody else have pet voices that they just cannot possibly talk about their pets without their ridiculous voice? Well, now you know mine. My kitty at a brewery again. Surprise, surprise. This is just playing with a palette, so every single color in my palette, I laid it down and then wrote down the colors. That's a white gel pen over top of this one. Kind of makes it pop. It's kind of got an illustrative style there. And this is after somebody else as well. Don Lowe, it says. But it's, you know, you can see me pushing my style and when I'm copying others. There's something there that I love the quality of, and I really wanted to just try to get into that. When you mimic, yeah, you can adopt some of the same mark making. And so I just loved how there was thin line, thick line, splatter, a lot going on, very, very loose, tons of different greens. This one is after Don Lowe again. I was trying to see if it was from a book I was reading, like a art book, or if it was from online. I don't know. Oh yeah, page 77. So if you're really just super stuck and you need to keep making in your own sketchbooks, open up an art book, turn to a page that inspires you, and copy. I'm never going to sell that. I'm never, other than showing it to you now, you know, and I'll never claim it as my own. It's not a problem to copy others as you grow and just to shake off the dust. I have a little paperclip keeping some plans closed here, plans for future classes and video tours, things like that, sketchbook tours. And at the end here, there's just some of my different palettes. So this was, what did I say, Winsor & Newton travel set. It's a long time ago. My Tropicals from Prima Marketing. Tropical set. This is my Decadent Pies set. These, it may seem extravagant, but they're all around $20 price point, so that's pretty good. These are paint tubes, so I've just adopted these over the years. Maybe I've bought one or two watercolor individually. This is my Schmincke palette. That was an investment, but wonderful watercolor. And this is my personal palette. So I think it's like a mix of a bunch. So Schmincke add-ons, moving this one to the Schmincke palette. So yeah, the way to organize all my colors and not have duplicates in the same set for when I'm gonna walk around and travel paint. So I have a code here: Sennelier watercolors, Winsor Newton, Graham, Grumbacher, Winsor Newton Cotman. That's like a student grade. So yeah, enough rambling from me. Palette notes from one of my fave watercolorists, and a really nice pocket in the back of this thingy. I hope you enjoyed this little sketchbook tour. Thank you if you stayed all the way to the end. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Please like, subscribe if you want to support the channel and help me continue to create art videos for you. Until next time.